Hey, what's up guys? So we are going to be talking about two decks that just kind of came out as far as being able to play them in the physical form. In Hidden Arsenal 7, we have the Constellars and we also have the Evilswarms. Now both of these decks, are seeing a lot of play right now. A lot of players are just testing them out, see which ones they like better. And, I've had a lot of players ask me, which one do I think is better? Now I'm going to tell you guys my explanations through the video, but I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, as far as tournaments go, Evilswarm has actually been topping. Constellars, to my knowledge, have not actually topped yet. At a large scale event, maybe at a regionals, but as far as a huge YCS, I'm not sure if they've actually topped yet at the moment of this video, but in the future, they probably will eventually. I think that, a first turn Pleiades is still a first turn Pleiades, a very fantastic card. But right off the bat, I can tell you guys, Evilswarm is only as good as their matchup. That's the downside to Evilswarms. Because their star player, their LeBron James, is Ophion. Because Ophion stops level 5 or higher monsters from coming out, if you guys didn't know that. It's a pretty simple effect, and then he has a one get out of jail free card by using the Infestation Pandemic. So, he's really good in that aspect. He kind of protects himself. He has one free card that stops Darkhold, because for some decks, Darkholds that are only out to an Ophion. But there's also tons of other, cards that can deal with Ophion. There's Medion. There's also Gen X Ally Duradark that's seeing a lot of play, even in the OCG. But even in the OCG, the deck has been doing pretty well. It has topped. It's not like Elmo Dragon status, but it's like, it's once in a while it's there. It kind of reminds me of Heroes. Like, it's always just there. Like, once in a while you'll see one or two decks topping that are playing like Evilswarm or Heroes. But generally it's all about the Elmo Dragons over there. Now let's go over the star players. Let's go over like their key cards that they go for right off the bat. So the Constellars, we have Pleiades. His effect is once per turn you can bounce a card from either side of the field and you return it to the hand. Pretty good effect. Now Ophion makes it so level 5 or higher monsters can't be special summoned, and he has the effect of once per turn you can detach a material and you add one Infestation spell trap card from your deck to your hand. Generally it's like, it's 100% of the time, guys. They always just go for this card. Unless they already have all of them, they always go for this card. So it basically prevents them from getting Darkhold, any spell trap. It's really good and affects the entire field. So if they're like pushing really hard, they can just, and you like torrential them, they're just like, no. And so be aware of that. Like if they're going all in, try not to torrential, because especially if you know that they went for this already, unless maybe you have multiple cards that you can use and you just want to get rid of torrential. I personally would rather lose a deep res than torrential later, but depending on what deck you're playing. But yeah, let's go ahead and go over some of the monsters. If you guys didn't know, a lot of these archetypes are kind of similar. Both of these archetypes, like for example, Castor and Pollock, look at their text. They literally just changed one word, and if you look at this, they just changed basically one word as well. It's just pasted several times. But what it comes down to is these decks are both about the XYZ. So let's go ahead and go over the XYZs real quick, and then we're going to go over some of the monsters real quick and give a brief explanation and rundown over the monsters and why you might want to play Constellars or why you might want to play Evilswarm, depending on your playstyle. So, Pleiades, like I said, is a star player. They also have Omega, which is their first turn, I don't know if you want to call it like Infestation Pandemic version. Basically what they can do is they can be unaffected by spell and traps. It's basically Infestation Pandemic, but he's a monster. He's only 24, he doesn't have a stun effect. And the stun effect, meaning that it doesn't hurt my opponent from special summoning monsters and just running over this thing. So that's the downside to Constellar Omega. If you think about it, he's still affected by like monster effects, and monster effects are pretty good. So, you just go Techie Bear Pop, okay. See you later, Omega, you just use 2 cards. Both of these decks, by the way, guys, they always use 2 cards in the beginning to XYZ. So, if you can perhaps, Torrential Tribute when they summon 2, like the normal, get an additional Torrential Tribute right then, or if they're playing like Constellars, unless they go for like this guy, you use Torrential Tribute. Because this one is a quick effect, so remember that. Anyways, yeah, like I said, most of these cards, they're all about like the XYZ, and they always use 2 cards at the beginning, and then they have their like, if you want to call it like the Blizzard, the far north of them, they have like 2 cards. Well, they each have 1 card where it allows them to essentially just get 1 from the grave, and they also do have to banish 1. Like literally, like I said, the text, I think there's like opposite. If you guys notice, like they're all, okay, no, these guys are looking the same way, I think. If I can even find where his head is looking, I think it's kind of looking in the middle. But if you guys couldn't tell, like I said, both of these are kind of like, they're the dark and light opposite. But yeah, this is like the card you can go for. Oh wait, no, this is the card you can go for if you want to be protected against spell and traps. Maybe you've got a hand where you can definitely push for game. I mean, you can make Omega and then guarantee yourself, you know, unaffected by spell and trap cards. Maybe you can OTK them. Now we also have Constellar's Praise, so he gains 1,000 attack, so it's basically 3,400. That's what it comes down to. You have detaching material. And then we also have number, we'll just call him M7. You can XYZ, you just using Constellar monster, and basically he has this effect. If you XYZ for him without using the level 6, meaning that you just, you know, overlay with Constellar monster for him, he has the effect, you can't use that effect this turn, but if you wait a turn, once per turn you can detach one material from this card to target one monster on the field or in either player's graveyard and return that target to the hand. So it's a really good effect. You just gotta wait for it. I mean, in Constellars, you're not gonna be going for rank 6s. I'm pretty sure you can try, but generally you're just gonna, you know, use a XYZ that has no material, and then you just overlay him because he also has more attack. He's kind of like the Gaia Dragon, like that. What is it called? Gaia. It's like, is it the Swift? I was gonna say the Swift Knight, but that's like that other card. Where is it? Yes. No, it's this one. The Fierce Knight, that's the one I was thinking of. But anyways, it's this guy over here. He's like the 2600 Piercer. But he's basically like the free card that you literally can just stack more cards on top of each other for free. And he's 2700. So if one of your Constellars has no material, just go for this. It's a free card. It's got more attack. Why not? And there's also, I mean, you can make the deck go for rank 3s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. That's basically what it comes down to. But 5 is the best. This is the star player of the deck. Here's Hades. He's not very good in my opinion, but anyways, it's once per turn you can attach one material from this card. Change all monsters on your opponent controls to face up defense position. It's not a quick effect, so you can't do it during your opponent's turn. That's really what the downside of him is. We already went over that card, and like I guess if you really want to, you can like make Zenmane's first turn in the deck. I just don't think it's that viable. Also, I want to mention with Levier is you can really use this card to your advantage. With Levier, so keep that in mind as well. I mean, both these, well, I mean, I've seen some Evilswarm players play Tour Guides, so I mean, I guess technically if you banish it, yeah, you can get cards back with Levier. But that's it for the monsters as far as like Constellars, like the XYZ monsters that you're pretty much going to be making. But let's go ahead and check out the monsters and check them out. So this one, he's kind of like the star player of the deck. You can also use Tenki. Well, this is the star player, but he brings out the star player, so he's the recruiter, if you want to call it. But anyways, so he brings all of your XYZs out. He's basically the key card that you want to. You can also search him out with Tenki, like I mentioned. But anyways, so he has the effect of up to twice per turn, you can target one Constellar monster and activate one of the effects. So you can increase their level by 1, or you can decrease its level by 1. So that's pretty good. Lets you go for his 3s, 4s, and 5s. So pretty awesome. Like I said, he's kind of the key card. You want to open up with him with what it comes down to. And this guy, he allows you to go for rank 3s. Not that you're going to want to go for them too often, but you can try to make a rank 3 build if you want. Pollux, he's exactly like Castor. He's just, when you summon him, you get an additional normal summon. And then there's also this guy, which goes back to making the rank 3s, but like I said, I don't find them very viable. This is Algidi. So when this card is normal summon, you can special summon one. Isn't there an Evilswarm? There's one more. Where is it? No. Evilswarms don't have that. They have Mandragora. That's like their version of it, kind of in a way, I guess you could say. So for the Evilswarms, if your opponent controls a monster, you have a Cyber Dragon, you just special summon it. And then for the Constellars, when it's normal summon, you can special summon one Constellar level 4 from your hand, and you generally just go for this guy, and you just go for Pollux. Or, I'm sorry, not Pollux, Pleiades. But as far as that, that's pretty much it for like the main monsters. And what it comes down to, honestly, we'll take out these guys because these guys probably won't see any play. But I mean, if you want to, by all means, make a rank 3 variant of the deck. But what it comes down to is these are your 4 cards that you play. You play 3 of all of them. And this card, basically, you banish one. This is after you've already XYZ'd, by the way. So you banish one Constellar. Usually you banish like an XYZ, and then you add whatever you used to make it back to your hand. Pretty much you add back cost, and then you just end up making it again. Because it allows you to add one to your hand after you've banished one, and then you get one additional normal summon. It's the same. It's exactly the same as Carry Keon. Like I said, you can search out with Tenki. There's also this card, which is okay. It's a continuous, so it's pretty awesome in that aspect. So once per turn, when a Constellar monster is XYZ summoned, you get to draw a card. So pretty good. There's also this card, which allows you to XYZ for free, essentially. It's just going back to just add cost, add something else. It doesn't really matter. And then you just go and make Pleiades. The only downside is you can't conduct your battle phase. But it's cool, with Rekindling, you can conduct your battle phase, special summon as much stuff as you want. That's just something I just thought was funny. It's like, why is this card still at 3? But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the Evilswarm monster. So, with Evilswarms, you can play Rabbit, because this guy, he's awesome, and he runs over Thunder King, which makes him, like, unfair. All the Evilswarms are literally just like 50 over like what they should be. I don't know why. They're all like that though, if you guys didn't know. All of them have like 50 more than they should have. And that's just what's why they're amazing. But anyways, yeah, you can run Rabbit builds. In the OCG, they do like Rabbit as well. So it's pretty popular here. I think this deck is already topped with the Rabbit build. Not with Sabersauruses though. I've seen some players run they run the vanilla, this guy over here, and they also play Sabersauruses just so they can still make use of the second Rabbit. But there's also another card. They can cycle them, so if you want, I've seen some players even just play 2 of them, and they would just use this card, because, I mean, this card is technically searchable, with the, where is it, this guy. If you make multiple Ophions, yeah, your first one always goes for this, but then the second one, yeah, you can maybe just go for this, or you could go for more of these, unless you drew them, then yeah, by all means go for this card. This card is kind of more of a late game card. We'll get into that one later, but there's also Castor, so when this card's normal summon, he's basically like this guy over here. Literally, I mean, let's put them right next to each other again. Look at that text, look at that text, look at that difference in text. There's just one word on the card. There's also this card, which I didn't go over the effect, but it's once per turn you can shuffle 1 Evilswarm monster from your hand or face up on the field to your deck to add 1 Evilswarm monster from your deck to your hand. So it's not a bad effect. I mean, it's more of a card that after you've made like an Ophion, you know, you can just sit there and cycle some cards. Not a bad idea. We already went over him. This is Mandragora. Like, it's like Cyber Dragon. All it does is basically get you the Ophion. And next up we have the card that's basically the same as Sombrace. It's just banish 1 Evilswarm monster, and then you get to add 1 to your hand, and then you get an additional normal summon, which makes you another Ophion. And then this card is pretty awesome. It's like a lance. We already kind of went over it. This is Thunderbird. He's similar to the Wind-Up Rabbit. So during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, except during the damage step, you just banish it. Or is it banish it? Yeah, it's banish it. And then keep in mind, it does not special summon itself when it returns to the field. So you can't Solemn Warning it when it comes back. But then it gains 300 attack, so it becomes 1950, so it runs over Thunder King. And so if you have double Thunderbird, well, you don't really even need double Thunderbird. Thunderbird allows the Evilswarm player to push really aggressive, because you don't have to worry about like you know, any traps or anything, or like dark holes or anything, because you just be like, oh, activate, see you later, I'll come back next turn. So it really allows them to you know take some damage and then make an Ophion later if they want to. Now the rest of the cards, I mean, pretty much you just play all these, this guy and like these are like their main cards, and then these 3 cards right here, I just wanted to mention them, because if you want to try to make an alternate build, or maybe you just want to try out some of them, by all means, try out some of these. So we have the Terminus. So you target 1 Evilswarm monster you control on 2 cards your opponent controls. You banish your monster, and then you bounce back 2 cards. So it's not bad. If your opponent maybe already has like high-level monsters, and you're like, well, I can't really do anything with Ophion because they already have their strong monsters. So you know, definitely like a decent card. Kind of reminds me of an Icarus attack, only it bounces back rather than destroy. Also, there's Zahak. So if it's when this face-up card on the field is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can target 1 special summoned level 5 or higher monster on the field and destroy that target. So maybe if your opponent is playing something like Agents, I mean, you already should have an easy matchup against Agents, because once you summon the Ophion, like, they kind of cry. But yeah, Zahak, you know, you summon it, maybe they already have Hyperion out. Like, if Hyperion's going to pop you, you pop him right back, like, and destroy you too. Xian would be another example. Now this other card, Azathoth. So it's a flip effect, a little bit slow, but you get to target 1 special summon monster on the field, and you return that target to the deck. I like this guy a lot better. He's got 1950, plus he's a reptile. I forgot what I tried to play him in, but yeah, he's a pretty awesome card. But as far as the Evilswarm monsters, I don't think we went over their XYZs other than Ophion, but that one should be pretty self-explanatory. I already covered it, but anyways, this is a Bahamut, so you get to, once per turn you can attach 1 material to brain control. Is it forever though? Hold on. Yeah, it's forever. So you also kind of go minus. If they affect this, you lose, but well, you pretty much do lose. So you attach 1 material from this card to target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and you also have to discard another Evilswarm monster, and if you do, take control of that opponent's monster. If they valor this and they run over you, you basically lose. That's the only downside to this guy. But yeah, if your opponent already has like something strong on the field, yeah, make him. He's good, as long as you can get his effect off. And then we have Ouroboros. He requires 3 level 4s. He also has a combo with 6 Samurais to loop your opponent's entire hand. So he has the effect, he has 3 different effects which you can activate. So you target one card your opponent controls and you bounce it back, and then, oh, I'm sorry. Is it one? No, yeah, it is one card your opponent controls, and I like how it can do face downs too, because sometimes your opponent sets a card, you can just OTK them, and then you can send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, or you can target one card in your opponent's graveyard and you banish that target. So he's got some versatility. He's got 2750 attack. I think he's a really good card, but like I said, the only downside to him is going to be that it requires 3 monsters. So if you want to go Mandragora, caster, and then normal summon anything else, you'll be good to go. You can make him, he's a pretty good card in general. But I mean, when it comes down to it, it's basically Ophion versus Pleiades, and this is what I have to say about the deck. If you're interested in playing one or the other, and you're deciding which one you want to build, play on Dueling Network, play on DevPro, see which one has better results for you. What it comes down to, honestly, though, is if you're playing Evilswarm, your deck is only as good as the matchups. And I would say, against certain decks, yeah, it has great matchups against Elemental Dragon sometimes, depending on, how the Elemental Dragon player opens up. But, Blaster can still pop it, and that is a thing, although, like I said, it depends on your matchup, because if you're playing against something like, let's say, Macro Rabbit, they would be like, oh, I don't even care about your Ophion. He doesn't really affect me. The only thing that Ophion got was he's 2550 and he's unaffected by spell and traps for one turn basically. And then also something like Windups, they won't really care. Also, Mermails is a deck that can technically lose to it, and it's a very popular deck as well. But they also have Spike. They have well, it's more so heavy infantry that pops everything, but they also have Spike, they have Undyne. I mean, a lot of Mermail players are switching back to the Undyne build. Some even switch to just main decking Undyne plus the mono Mermail, just because, I mean, there was that deck, wasn't it 53 cards or something like that topped? It was basically just mono, I think it was mono and the Undyne build, just mashed them together and it worked. But, yeah, like I said, Ophion is only as good as, what your opponent is playing. If you, maybe at locals, your opponent is playing, some deck that only special summons high-level monsters, if a Synchro deck, for example, or Dragoonity would even be an okay example. You gotta watch out for that Dragoonity Legionnaire plus was it Ackley's? You gotta watch out for that. Also, something like I'm thinking, what is it? Inzectors. They can just be like, oh, it's cool. I just make Tyrus, Adrius, and then I will just I can attack over you. I can pop you, and just a lot of things that Ophion doesn't have a good matchup against. But I feel like with Constellars, if you open up with Pleiades, you are pretty much geared to an advantage in the game. But that said, I hope this helps you guys decide which deck you'd rather play. Like I said, both of these decks are going to be seeing a lot more play, so get some practice against them, play them, and then see how they play out. Personally, for me, if I had to pick a deck and go to a tournament, I honestly feel like against a majority of matchups, technically Constellars will have a better matchup, because, like I said, when you're playing Evilswarm, you only have a matchup. Your good matchup is only against certain decks, whereas Constellars all around will have kind of a more consistent win-loss ratio. But Evilswarm, it just all depends on your matchup. Oh, one thing I want to mention before I end the video: Constellars can main deck Honest, and Honest, that card beats players. Seriously, there's so many times where if you're playing just any deck, even when I was playing Heroes and I played Honest, I'd go summon Alias, set back row. There you go. Okay, Rabbit. Okay, Logia, because you have back row attack. Oh, you have Honest? Okay, I lose. And it just comes down to that, because they've already gone through the Rabbit play. They have a blank field now, and you can just secure victory. Honest is a really dirty card. But when it comes down to it, which one do I choose? I honestly don't like either one of these decks. I feel like Constellars, it has to be Pleiades immediately, and then you can just kind of fall apart. I played both the decks. If Pleiades survives, for a while, you win. Evilswarms protect Ophion really hard. They play Forbidden Dresses, and then play so many things just to protect Ophion, like Save Zone and stuff like that, to where, like I said, depending on your matchup, you can just get ran over, and then you'll be like, well, Ophion, you failed me, because it was totally your fault that my opponent was not playing something that, was something that would get hurt by Ophion. So yeah, like I said, it depends on your matchups what it comes down to. Also, just test both of them out, and decide for yourself. But I know I said I'd make a decision. I mean, with Elemental Dragons coming out, it depends, what rarity they are. I would say if you want a better chance to win, I would play the Evilswarm. Even though technically the matchups for Evilswarm are only good against your matchup, some of the higher tier decks, Evilswarm will have a higher success rate at winning. But anyways, hope this helps you guys decide on which deck you want to play. But if you have other there's other cards maybe I didn't mention that would work well in either one of these decks, let me know in the comment section below. And lastly, let me know which one you guys would choose, because honestly, like, I really wanted to say Constellars because Evilswarm is such a boring deck in my opinion. It's kind of a cookie cutter. It's kind of like how Dark Worlds are like Grapha. This deck is all about Ophion, just like 6 Samurais are about Xian. So what it comes down to, it's kind of a slow deck to play. I mean, like, it's just Ophion and then go, and then keep on making like other cards just to protect Ophion. Get more cards, protect Ophion. But anyways, thanks for watching. Asian Eyes signing out.